before I start this video, I just wanted to say rest in peace to Jimmy Greaves, not only a Tottenham legend but also a footballing legend as well. So all my thoughts and prayers go to his family and friends. Hello guys, and welcome back to my channel. For today's video, it is going to be my Tottenham player ratings for the Chelsea game, which was yesterday. Tottenham 0, Chelsea 3. We will get into the game, but be sure to let me know your player ratings down below in the comments, and if you haven't already, subscribe and like this video. So anyways, we're just gonna get straight into it. So here we go. Because the game was a game of two halves, I'm just gonna sort of discuss the first half, because that was probably that was where Tottenham were at their best. Well, yeah, the best, whatever. So obviously I was a bit surprised with the lineup. It was more attacking than I thought it was going to be, which I was happy about. And I feel like we definitely surprised Chelsea. They weren't expecting us to go at them like we did. But in the first half, you know, we created some chances, which is more than we can say for other games. But there was loads of chances. You know, we were pressing really high, and Chelsea struggled to play out from the back because of Son, Lo Celso and Kane, you know, pressing on. And that is definitely how we should be playing moving forward. So I feel like we can take positives from the first half, from how we were like pressing and winning the ball back. Højbjerg, sensational, and Ndombele was sensational as well. I think pretty much every player was giving it 100% in that first half, and it was working well. The only problem is we didn't score, so that didn't really go into the second half. It was kind of disappointing, but you know, the first half performed really well. Lukaku barely had a chance. Like Dyer handled him really well, and he didn't really get any joy whatsoever in that first half. And I feel like we were the better team, and the only problem with that was that we didn't score, but we were the better team for that first half. Obviously the second half completely changed. Kante come on for Mason Mount, and the game completely flipped, and Chelsea came out a bit more, and they were well improved from the first half. We couldn't really deal with it, and the only players that we could really bring off the bench were Skip and Hill, which is what we did. And I feel like because those are the only changes that we could potentially do, because we have lack of depth like compared to Chelsea, so it was kind of a spot in the second half. Obviously they got that first goal with Silva winning a header against Dele from a corner, so that goal was on Dele. And then they got lucky with the second because it was a deflection, but I feel like someone should have closed Kante down before he had a shot, but that didn't really happen. And you know, that was probably Højbjerg's mistake. And the third goal, I wasn't too bothered about the third goal because it's like we were going to lose anyway, so 2-0, 3-0 didn't really matter. But I feel like that, you know, Kane just walking, going in the opposite direction, and then you had Emerson just standing there as well, letting was it Werner into the box or whatever. So, and then Rudiger scores. So that was pretty much it for the whole game. But let's go into the play ratings. I'm gonna start off with Lloris. I gave Lloris an 8. He definitely kept the scoreline down, making some really good saves. Because the scoreline could have been higher if it wasn't for Lloris. So for me, Lloris an 8. He couldn't really done anything about the goals. First one, it's a header, a bit hard. Second one, deflection. Like the only thing he could do was watch it go in. Third one, again, not really much he could do about it. So none of the goals were like really his fault when he couldn't really stop them. But from what he did overall, saving loads of shots, you know, he was probably one of the best players on the pitch of that game. So Lloris an 8. Dyer, I gave Dyer a 7. Again, similar to Lloris, he did quite a lot of blocking, and he blocked that goal on the line from Alonso, which is surprising. I was expecting it to go in, but he made a brilliant block on the line. I feel like he handled Lukaku really, really well, whereas we sort of fell apart a bit after that first goal. It was just sort of, how many can Chelsea score? So Lukaku barely really had a chance. I feel like he had one shot which Lloris saved, so that's good on Dyer from not allowing him too many chances. I don't like the only thing that, and Dyer couldn't really do anything about that deflected shot of him, you know what I mean, because he was doing his job. Højbjerg was kind of standing next to him when he was like, you know, pointing, so you can't really blame Dyer for that goal. It's just unfortunate that it deflected off him. But I feel like Dyer, he's had a good start to the season. Obviously, to get injured, so I was surprised that he started. But he didn't really do anything wrong, you know what I mean? Like, obviously conceding 3 goals and your centre back is not good. Like, it's not a good thing. But he defended quite well for like the majority of the game. So for me, a 7. Similar with Miro, until he came off, I gave him a 7. I feel like he for his first Premier League debut, he hasn't had much training with the team. He did well. Similar with Dyer, didn't really let Chelsea have any chances till the second half. But all in all, for Miro and Dyer, like, you know, they did a good job. And I feel like they didn't perform badly, so it's kind of annoying that we did concede 3 goals, but not because of them, you know what I mean. Moving on to Reguilon, I gave Reguilon a 6. I feel like in that first half he was getting down the left really, really well, being involved in attacks and stuff. There was that one chance when he was running into their box, and all he had to do was pass like the Celso or someone like Son, I think, was in the box, and he couldn't do that. He couldn't find any of them, so I feel like that's kind of disappointing, because I definitely feel like that could have been a chance for us to score if he was able to make that pass, which seemed like an easy pass, you know what I mean. But coming to the second half, he wasn't really getting down the left that much. We spent most of our time trying to defend, and I feel like there were times when he was a bit iffy in defence, you know what I mean, giving the ball away, trying to clear it, but he didn't clear it far enough, and then Chelsea had the ball again. So Reguilon 6. Emerson, I also gave a 6. Kind of similar to Reguilon in that first half, getting involved in attacks. I do feel like in the second half, Emerson really struggled to deal with Alonso, so he did have quite a difficult afternoon against him. But all in all, Emerson's performance was average at best, but I have been impressed with him at times, so I do think he has potential. So I'm looking forward to seeing more of him in the future. Well, yeah, I gave Højbjerg a 7. In that first half, he was definitely all over the pitch, winning the ball back countless times, protecting that back four, and whenever a player was giving the ball back to like Dyer or Romero, it was Højbjerg, so he was doing a lot in that midfield. He was definitely putting himself about. Obviously, in the second half, it became more difficult for him because Chelsea had that extra player in midfield, and I feel like Højbjerg was technically like having to deal with like 3 players, so it kind of became really difficult for him. So I don't really blame him for any of that sort of situation. The only thing that I'm going to pull up Højbjerg on is that Kante shot where he should have gone towards him, like run towards him to, you know, block it, at least try and block him, stop him shooting, whereas because he just stood there with Dyer in the box, I think that's the only sort of mistake that Højbjerg made that led to a goal. But I'm not going to put it on Højbjerg and not all on him, like the whole second half performance, because he wasn't really helped out. I feel like the second half, most of the players' performances sort of dropped a bit, but I was impressed with Højbjerg first half. Not so much the second half, but he was still, you know, trying. He just couldn't do it all by himself. And on to Ndombele, who I also gave a 7. The first half, impressive, as always, doing his skills, and Chelsea couldn't really get the ball with him. I feel like they struggled really they struggled to contain him in that first half. And he was really trying, you know, running. If he lost the ball, he would run at the Chelsea player, try and get it back, you know. Definitely improving, and I feel like having him in there as a creative outlet is really important. And I feel like with him in the team, like, the creativeness was there because you create more chances. And I feel like with that midfield, that is sort of what we need to go with moving forward, especially from the first half. We could take positives from it. If we perform like that for the full 90 minutes, I feel like that entire Chelsea game could have been different, and other games that we've played recently could have been totally different if we played like that. So I'm hoping that Nuno sticks with Ndombele, because I definitely feel like he's the creative player that we need in that midfield. Into second half, his performance kind of dropped a bit, as well as I said, like, for everyone. He wasn't really doing what he was doing in the first half, whether that's tiredness because he hasn't really played that much games, or wherever it was, I don't know, but that sort of let him down a bit. And then he was replaced around the 60th minute mark. Like, because I think he lacked a bit of energy in that midfield. We lacked a bit of energy, so I feel like Ndombele getting replaced was probably the right thing and at the right time. Moving on to Dele, I gave Dele a 5. You know, at first, it was kind of lackluster at times. Obviously, he was at fault for that first goal, losing the header to Silva. So that was kind of annoying. And he sort of struggled to, you know, to stop him getting to the ball first. And there was that other corner which Silva again headed, but luckily Reece was able to save it. He was, you know, he's running, he was tackling, he was trying to get involved, but wasn't really much happening for him. So I gave him a 5. Lo Celso, I also gave a 5. I feel like maybe he was lacking match fitness just because of the whole Croatia situation. And he was definitely involved in the first half with attacks, and he was definitely one of the creative players, and his pressing was definitely causing Chelsea's backline a problem, and I give credit for him for that. In the second half, it sort of changed, and we sort of dropped off a bit, like we dropped deeper, and that pressing wasn't really there anymore. I don't know what changed from the first half to the second half. I don't know why we came out like we did. I'm not entirely sure. Only the players really know what was the cause of that. But with Lo Celso, give him more game time, and I think we will see the best out of him, but wasn't the best performance. Moving on to Son, I gave Son a 6. Obviously just came back from injury. I've got to say, I was so excited to have Son back, because honestly I've missed seeing him so much. I'm like, yes, finally, you know, he's back. Back where he left off. Obviously no goals or anything, but from what we did see of Son, he was pretty impressive. I feel like he was constantly running, trying to make those runs, and like players trying to find him, and he was definitely, I feel like he was playing higher than Kane was. I feel like Kane was deeper, but you know, he almost had that chance where he was on with Kepa, but I feel like Alonso sort of held him off, and he wasn't able to get a clean enough contact onto the ball. I was a bit worried after that he was injured again, but he was fine, he got up again. But yeah, he was definitely, you know, his pressing was there in like the first half. Second half, there wasn't really much for him to be able to do because the whole team dropped back. And I'm not going to put like a lot of pressure onto Son because he has just come back from injury, so it's like, you know, but you know, Son is Son, and he was doing his running, and he was, you know, he was trying, but the whole team just wasn't performing as a team compared to how Chelsea was. But obviously the first half was completely different to the second half, so I'm still taking positives from the first half from how the team was playing. To Kane, I also gave Kane a 5. I mean, it's improved. Like, he was having shots, so that's got to be improvement, right? From the last game when he didn't have a shot whatsoever. Obviously for that last goal, I don't exactly know what he was doing, like walking away from the situation. That was kind of a weird thing to say, but maybe it was kind of like, doesn't really matter, we lost anyway, I don't know. But with Kane, I don't know whether it's form not there, his fitness not there, or if it's just the effects of what happened over the transfer window that's still affecting him. I don't know. Whatever it is, I hope it gets sorted soon, because him not scoring yet is kind of disappointing, and it's kind of like we're going to need him to score goals, and obviously we're going to need the whole team to chip in and whatever. But with Kane, it's kind of like he hasn't scored in the Premier League yet. He scored 2 goals in the Conference League, which is something, but I feel like with Kane, something, maybe it's a mental thing, I don't know, but you know, let's hope he turns up against Wolves and against Arsenal. But just going into the subs, obviously Skip and Hill came on around the 16-minute mark. I both gave him a 6. You know, they were definitely trying. Hill, you know, making those runs. Like they would put 100% effort in, but the game was basically gone, if you know what I mean, because it was 2-0. It was hard to come back from 2-0, especially against Chelsea, a Chelsea side that barely concede goals. I feel like they are definitely title contenders. They're very difficult to play against, and with Skip and Hill being basically the only subs we could potentially bring on that could change things, it was difficult for them. And I'm not, you know, I'm not blaming the players, if that makes sense. I'm not going to blame them. I'm not blaming Nuno. I'm not blaming Nuno. I'm not blaming the players. I just think the situation is the situation. Like, we're not good at Chelsea. Like, we already knew that before this game. I was obviously optimistic, and I predicted a 1-1, but obviously that was not the case. I definitely feel like with the first half, if we play like that for like the full 90 minutes in games, then we definitely have more chances of beating teams. Obviously I'm disappointed that we lost, and obviously I don't like losing, and it's like really, because it's annoying because it's Chelsea, but I'm not angry about it, you know. In a way, like, no one predicted Tottenham to win anyways, so it's kind of like, is it really that surprising, you know what I mean? So I'm not like angry about that. Obviously Sanchez did come off from mirror. I didn't give Sanchez a rating because it was like late on in the game, and there wasn't really much for him, you know, to do, so I didn't really do anything wrong, didn't really like do anything that requires me to give him a rating. With Nuno, I feel like in the first half he got his tactics right, you know what I mean, so you can't discredit him for that. Second half, he did what he could in that situation. Like, he brought on subs 15 minutes into the second half. Like, he was trying, like, what else, there was nothing else he could have done. There's no one else he could have brought on to potentially change the game. So I don't know why people are blaming Nuno for this result. It doesn't make sense, because he got his tactics right in the first half, and you have to admit that. So, and there wasn't much he could have done in the second half to change the momentum to Tottenham's way instead of Chelsea, you know what I mean? So why people are blaming Nuno for this result, I do not know. Obviously Tottenham fans are still, I'm fed up of talking about this, to be honest, but it just annoys me because I'm like, it's not his fault. Like, it's not. Like, he's been in the job for how long, and like, we knew this was going to be a painful process, so why is it like, we knew what was happening, so why is it when it is exactly what we knew it was going to be, everyone has an issue? Like, we're not just going to automatically become top 4 contenders in a few months from what happened last season to this season. Like, obviously I see slight improvements in like performances, like not so much that I'm like, oh yeah, we're definitely gonna finish top 4, but there is improvements from last season. Obviously beating Man City, obviously those we haven't really scored from open play apart from 1 goal, and obviously that's not good enough, that needs to be improved, like I see that. But this being Nuno's first season, why is everyone expecting miracles? It doesn't make sense. and then people saying, oh, he needs to get out. Like, right. That is where I get annoyed. Okay, so you want Nuno to be sacked. Okay, so say sacked tomorrow, you know, just on the off chance, which is not, it's not gonna happen, but say if you sacked tomorrow, who would you replace him with? Who's your replacement? You don't have one? Oh my god, no way. I mean, the only thing that I could predict happening if Nuno was sacked, Ryan Mason would come back in, and what would happen? You'd still moan. You would still moan, which makes no sense, because you would be like, oh, I wanted him gone, but you don't have a replacement in your head. Like, you don't know who you want to be replaced with, and obviously Antonio Conte is not an option. Like, it's not an option. Like, he rejected us. Like, we said no. So it's either him or there's no one. There's no one. You know what I mean? So you're doing too much again. You're doing too much. And I don't know if it's just like an overreaction from the games, which is just ridiculous, or you genuinely, you know, want him out, because it doesn't make sense. You weren't saying this when we were winning the games 1-0. Do you know? And you're seeing that there was it, but now that we're losing, you're seeing issues with those games. But you weren't saying this when we were winning those games. Like, I don't know, I feel like it's there's always an agenda, whether it's the media with Spurs or it's Tottenham players with their managers. I don't get it. You can't keep sacking managers. Like, it's not gonna work. We all know the real problem. The real problem is Levy and Enoch. Those are the people that you want out. It is not Nuno's fault he's in this position. Levy is the one who did this. Like, he did it with Pochettino, he did it with Mourinho. He put Ryan Mason in a difficult position, and he's also done it to Nuno. So Nuno being the one that you want out doesn't make sense, because for one, he deserves time. You're giving him 5 games into a season. It's not time. It's not. It's really frustrating, because I'm just like, he deserves time. Like, I don't know why you guys think miracles can be happening in... It just doesn't make sense. You might be thinking, oh, he's not the right man for the job. Who is? You know what I mean? Like, who is the right man for the job? If you want him out, my point is, this doesn't, like, if he gets sacked, you don't know who you want to replace him. So why do you want him to get sacked? If you don't know a replacement that's going to be better, and you don't know a replacement at all. And even saying that, who is going to want to come to Tottenham? Like, manager wise, who? Because I doubt many people will want to deal with Daniel Levy. So unless Daniel Levy and Enoch, you know, get out of this club, then you're gonna struggle with options. So if you know that, why are you going to blame the managers for the situation? Daniel Levy and Enoch are the ones that should be blamed, and I feel like people have kind of forgotten that. And because Nuno's like the first man there, he sort of gets all of the blame on him. So have the same energy for leaving Enoch as you did during the whole managerial search, and leave Nuno out of it. That's it. But there we go, guys. Those are my player ratings. If you did enjoy this video, give it a thumbs up. Let me know your player ratings down below. And before I do go on and end this video, I just want to let you guys know that it is my birthday on Wednesday, and I will be vlogging Wednesday. I might vlog Thursday as well, just because I'm off. I'm off Wednesday, I'm off Thursday. So I might do like a double vlog. I don't know, I might do them separately, or might put them all together. But yes, I am turning 23. I know I don't look it, and I don't know how I feel about turning 23. But we play Wolves on Wednesday. It's not televised, so I don't know if I'll be doing a live watch along, but I'll definitely try and find a way to watch the game. I probably won't be doing a watch along, I don't know. I might do a predicted lineup. I might do. So if I do a predicted lineup, that should be out tomorrow at some point. But a watch along, I might have. Hello, Lexi.
Hello.
So yeah, so there shouldn't, I might have a break from doing my live watch along, so there won't be one Wednesday, but I will be back for the Arsenal game on Sunday. Of course, I'm not gonna forget that one, am I? But yeah, do you have anything to say, Lex? Because you're just here.
I don't know.
You don't know. And also, guys, I'm super excited to show you my birthday cake when it's like made. My mum's making it and I'm so excited. So you'll see that on my birthday. Don't say what it is. Try and guess what you think it is down below in the comments. But yeah, I'll see you. Lex is gonna be my vlog Wednesday, aren't you, Lex?
Yeah.
Yeah. So excited to vlog my birthday. And that's pretty much it. So thank you guys for watching.
Wait, hold on.
What? Lexi wants to say something.
Subscribe and like.
Do what Lexi says. Subscribe and like, you know, all that stuff. Comment down below, whatever. And I will see you guys tomorrow for my prediction lineup for Tottenham vs Wolves. Bye guys.
Bye bye. Bye.
Bye bye.
Bye.